Cast not thy pearls before swine. That's quite a phrase. I've heard many interpretations of that phrase. You know, one interpretation I kind of like is, don't smile in front of your enemies. But I think that it also means that my interpretation of that phrase is do not speak over people's heads. They will resent the presumption that you have anything to teach them. And that's a very difficult thing to live with. You end up self-censoring for most of your life if you've got something to share that you think somebody should know. The thing that keeps me from sharing is the lack of a dry erase board in my life. I need to walk around with one of these all the time. I need visual cues, linear communication is very limiting. So I want to run over a few methods of hiding information in plain sight, forms of steganography. And I've already gone through a lot of them, but I just want to put them all in one place so we can look at them and show some examples. We already talked about gematria is letters and numbers. There are different ciphers that you can use, different keys, different keystones that you use to decode the letters of various languages. Not all of them are identical. I'll do it. I'll do a whole video on it. So steganography is hiding information in plain sight. The Greeks called it a page within a page, and most people know about the term stenography. And stenography is when public information is being put into a cipher. The stenographer in court is using shorthand. She's abbreviating, she's dropping all the vowels, and she's putting it into a language that only a stenographer knows. So it's going from public into private. Well, steganography is the inversion of that. It's going from the private into the public purview where everybody thinks they understand it. But those who know these certain forms of the secret school technology can decode it very quickly right off the top of their head. And there can be information in plain sight. 7, 7, 77. That's the magic square of Venus. You better believe. So we'll get into that some other time. One form of steganography all through history is the hidden hand symbol. Napoleon is the most famous. He is constantly shown with that hand hidden in his breast pocket. Also, Albert Einstein, there are pictures of him hanging out with the Hidden Hand Brotherhood in certain aspects and times in his life where he was definitely rolling with the hidden hand. And they are, to be sure, they all go back to the three wise men. This is the school of secrets. Oftentimes, alliteration is enough to give you the clue. SOS. That's son of Sam, Secretary of State, synagogue of somebody. You know what I'm getting at. So, they all filter up to the top into the same sect. So, we'll go with cryptography. That's a real popular subject right now with the Q drops, with the 3301 cicada movement. Get on Wikipedia. Check it out. This word right here caught my eye. In Wikipedia, I'm reading about cryptography, and here's Kirchhoff's. It's got an extra S, an extra apostrophe S. And like I said, the double letters, those get it. Those will do it for you. 6, 6. And that's a 1 and a 1. And Hoff means half. So, I'm thinking crack the code. Crack half the code. Who knows? But Kirchhoff's principle is that you can put information that can be passed around in public, and they will never understand the secret unless they have the key. Sometimes a key is a book, like To Kill a Mockingbird. And you go to a certain page and you just use all the first letters of all the sentences, or all the first letters in the rows of the one page. And that becomes a key. And you give them all numbers 1 through 26. And that is your cipher. The Enneagram. The Enneagram is, I believe, is not as old as they say it is. It does relate back to Egypt. It does relate back to the 9, Greek, the Greek culture. They worship the 9, used it in their language a lot. And even though I'm saying it's not as old as they posit that it is, I do believe it relates to Plato's cave. So in the Enneagram, you've got the 7 deadly sins plus 2 extra. They added 2 more to make the 9. But look at that. Wouldn't you know, there's that 72. Going back to the pentagram. Vortex math. That's real popular right now. The secret of 3, 6, and 9. Tesla, he brought that to the public purview. You can take his letters of his name and you can spell out Atlas. Atlas. Atlas holds up the geocorona, the firmament, the sky. And, vortex math, if you look at it, look at the graph. There's a key graphic that can serve as a key for some Kirchhoff's secret codex. Vortex math is crucial. But I believe the 3 wise men were from the secret schools. That's part of that diction of Aries I showed everybody earlier. The 3 wise men, they know about the 3, the 6, and the 9. So, moving on. Twilight language. Twilight language is my jam. It's quite the... It's a game. It's quite a game. Anytime you're getting information that's going into the public, you can skim through it with the right ears and eyes. With the right ears and eyes, you will hear something going on underneath the words everybody else hears. Twilight language is also called green speak, bird speak, language of the bards. Oftentimes, members of the court would all be participants of the secret society, and they would do gestures and signals in the courtroom to one another. And they were able to, essentially through sign language, they were able to talk to each other right in front of oblivious onlookers. So I have some good examples of all of this. This is a little bit of steganography. It's a little bit of cryptography. It's a little bit of anagram work. So everybody knows about Rome. Rome conquered the world. They're still in our court system now. It's a big problem. It's a big, big problem. And I used red on purpose. Red was definitely the right color for this one. So you take the shapes. These are runes. Runes, Rome. You take these shapes and you flip them around, you twist them, you turn them, and you get all the symbols that they put out. Rome is war. If the doors are open, that means it's wartime. If the doors are closed, then you might be experiencing a reprieve from the oppression of Rome. The symbol of Rome was the ram. And Zeus, when he retreated to Egypt, he turned into a ram. I actually believe that the Zeus of that story is not Jupiter per se. I actually would say that the Zeus from the story of the gods retreating to Egypt when Typhon came, I think that Zeus was Mars. I think that sometimes, these planetary systems, they were mixing it up back in the day. I don't think things were constantly in the position we know them to be in today. So, Rome, wars, rams, Mars, Aries, Mark. This planet is marked. It has a big scar. Olympus Mons. Any character. Deadpool. Deadpool is Rome, red, war. scarred, scar face. So the ram is very significant. The ram is part of the reason I believe that the Zeus from the Typhon story is the planet Mars, because Mars has 2-mile tall global tornadoes. So these spirals on the sides of the head of Aries are gigantic tornadoes. They're perceivable from Earth. I happen to believe that the ancients had all kinds of telescopic abilities. I'm not going to say they had telescopes, but I'll say that they had the ability to see in far distances somehow. All the mythology points to that. If you get into Velikovsky and the electric universe, things might not have always been so far away. Maybe they didn't need telescopes. I'm not going to get into that. Velikovsky, Immanuel Velikovsky, well worth your time. Tell you what. So I want to point out, some of this is they don't have to go out of their way to encode these secrets. The 7 by 7 equals 49. That's Venus. The magic square of Venus is a 7 by 7 magic square. Venus, the planet, in its current position, has a 225-day orbit around the sun. 225. Well, V in ordinal is number 22. E is number 5. NUS is the sun. 225-day orbit around the sun. And there's that master builder number. Now, what I'm proposing here is that this is the highest level of frequency. Anytime you see little 225s down here on Earth, they are calling on the highest, most powerful representation of these numbers, this numeric abracadabra, if you will. So look up this term, spirographic pentagram. Spirographic pentagram blew my effing mind, y'all. Blew my damn mind. This is George Orwell. 2 plus 2 equals 5. Orwell was pointing at the School of Secrets. He was showing off that he knows about the 225 orbit of Venus and how May is the 5th month. The May sons, the sons of May, they love the sign of Venus. They are worshiping the goddess, and that's not kosher with everybody. Some people string them up for that. But in order to make this shape, which is not an easy shape to make freehand, by the way, your hint, your clue to doing it is this shape right here. This is the Taurus, May, April into May. But that's the lily flower, the Mayflower. The May flower is the lily. All of this is pointing to the secret schools. Columbus, bus means to look. Columns, look at the columns. All these guys were keeping things from the church. They were keeping the feminine on the private side, the moon pillar, hidden, while the church was out in the open, the sun pillar. So that's lily flower, that's Lilith. A lot of people get real uppity about that. Venus did act a fool. Look up Immanuel Velikovsky. Venus had a very dangerous coming of age. Venus is the youngest planet. It is the hottest planet. Immanuel Velikovsky predicted all of that. So the the element of Venus is copper and bronze. Bronze is made out of copper. So the bronze snake on a staff, that's, if you track, look up the spirographic pentagram. If you track Venus over 7 years, it will make this spirographic pentagram. 5 of the bulls. So in I think the Goetia, but also the Old Testament, Solomon, I believe, had to control 72 demons. And he put them in a bronze barrel and threw them into the deep, dark sea. Well, that barrel floating through the sea creates a spirographic pentagram. It does a little loop-de-loop, comes out, loop-de-loop, comes out. That's a barrel in the sea. Bronze, copper, Venus. Dis-spellin it. I'm dis-spellin it. So over here we've got Mercury. Mercury makes a triskelion, a three-leaf clover. You'll often see tripartite masculine characters in film, all of them holding a staff of some sort. The caduceus, the rod of Asclepius, semi-interchangeable. I'm not going to go into that. So this is the symbol of Mercury, the element. And you notice it's a triangle. Here, Mercury, the planet, makes a spirographic triangle. Mercury has the shortest orbit, the fastest orbit, 88 days. That's why you'll see 88 thrown all over the place. We talked about 188 is all the denominations, 1 through $100. Add them all up, you get 188. That's the rod of Asclepius, the snake's going up the staff. So Mercury, because he's going so fast with this 88-day cycle, he is the god of medicine, because when you take medicine, you want it to have an expedient result. You want it to come quickly. RX means retrograde. Because of this short cycle, it is retrograding very regularly. It has 3 times a year it retrogrades. The numbers aren't coming to me right now, but those retrogrades, that's when people talk about communication is going backwards. Well, isn't that funny that a doctor, when you go in for a prescription, you go into his office, he gives you this symbol, RX, and then you turn around and go out of his office into retrograde. He's sending your symptoms back out of his office. He's not going to tell you it's a spell, but it goes way back. It goes all the way back. And the element of Mercury is quicksilver. He is the messenger. He's quick. He's got the wings on his feet and on his hat. Quicksilver. That's number 17. That's 8. Go ahead, cast your pearls before swine. Ain't no big deal. Much love, y'all. Keep it positive.